Hi, my name is Stefan Grunkemeier of Simply Rocks. Today we're going to show you how to build a flagstone stepping stone walkway. Over here are some of the tools that you're going to need to build a flagstone walkway. We've got the hose and this is an angle grinder with a diamond bit on it. This is a 7-inch one. For just one project, you can use a 4-inch one. We like to have the bigger, more industrial size one for what we do. For safety equipment, we've got headphones, knee pads. You should also wear safety goggles. As far as hand tools go, this is just a regular claw. We use this for etching out some of the dirt where it needs to be dug out a little more. Here we've got a hand sledge. It can be used with a chisel, breaking off pieces of the rock, or just for hitting the rock. This is a mallet, just a rubber mallet for hitting the stones and leveling them, solidifying. We got 3 different sizes of levels, 2 foot, 4 foot, and 6 foot. We got a tape measure for measuring the rocks if we need. Spade tip shovel, flat tip shovel, and a hard rake. So basically there's 4 steps involved in building a walkway. The first one is excavating. So we've got a lawn here right now. You can see Craig has already started digging it up. Once we get the lawn dug up, we're going to etch out where the base goes. The second step is going to be laying the gravel base and plate compacting it. The third step is laying and shaping the stones. And the fourth step is leveling each individual stone with the one next to it. We've gone along and cut lines in the sod here. Now we're taking a flat shovel with one guy, the other guy rolling it up, undermining the sod. So as you can see, we've dug out all the sod. What I've done is gone and spray painted lines where the walkway is going to go. I like to do this to get a good idea of the design ahead of time. The next step is going to be digging down the area inside the lines and moving the dirt outside the lines. We'll probably have to haul out a little bit of dirt, but we're going to try and work with it in this project and use it to fill in the areas that are a little bit lower along the edges. Okay, as you can see, we've got this all dug out now. We're starting with phase 2, which is laying the gravel base. We're looking for about a 2-inch base on this walkway. We're starting at the far end over here, laying the gravel down. This is 1/4 inch minus gravel. It's a real fine, sandy gravel. Compacts really well. It's also very pliable so that you can level the stones with it easily. So what we do is we lay a first base coat down. We grade it out. Craig's over here dumping out the piles. One thing to think about is your access. It's good to start at the far end, work your way back over so that you don't block yourself in and have to wheel over the piles of gravel. So once we get this first layer of gravel down, we're going to grade it out, and then we're going to run the plate compactor over it. That'll be the next step. If you don't have a plate compactor, you can use a hand tamper. After we get the base layer compacted, then we throw the next layer on top of it and we work with the leveling a little bit. So after we lay the gravel down, we wet it. That helps tamp it a little bit. You don't want to see too much pooling. You just want it a little bit damp. Okay, so we're on to our second layer of gravel here. This is an important layer. We got to make sure that we get everything pitched correctly and graded right. We've got our levels out here. Craig's going along with the 2-foot level, making sure that everything's flat across. I've got the 6-foot level here. And what I'm trying to do in this scenario is get a slight pitch going from up where Craig is down to the patio. Okay, we got the second layer graded all correctly. We're going to plate compact it one more time. Side note, if you don't want to hand tamp the whole thing or you have a bigger project, you can rent those plate compactors at most rental stores, usually for under $100 for a day. So the next step here is laying the stepping stones out. You got the base down. Now it's just basically shaping them, making them look good. These particular stones are about 18-inch diameter, so you want to have a comfortable stride, something you can walk over and not feel like you're tripping over your feet. It's not too important to make the gap super formal. It's not like a patio, but you want something that lines up and looks good together. What I like to do is start at one end once I've got a few laid and just take a walk and see how it feels. and then adjust them accordingly. So some of these stones look really square. That's because we wound up cutting a lot of these down at the yard before we brought them down. Some of the quarries we buy the stone from, we'll categorize them as stepping stones. The particular bluestone quarry just sells us big pieces and we have to shape them. So we're getting too much of a square look going here, and that doesn't look natural. So what I'm going to do is take this sledgehammer to some of the corners. And you can bust them off like that. If you get a sharp look, you can soften it a little bit. Just take the edges off. Okay, we've got the flagstone pathway laid. This is going to be a little seating area right here. We're going to take these 5 stones and we're going to shape them. We got the saw out. Craig's got the water. I'm going to continue cutting these. A couple little tips that I've learned over the years. You can see that this is laid on top. I put it here so that I lay this one on top so I can see where to cut. One thing I do to make sure that it's level so that the angle doesn't change is I get a mallet or something underneath the opposite side. Go ahead, Craig. And level it off like that. And that'll give me a more accurate line of where I want to shape this rock to. So I'm going to start with this one. I like this curve, so I'm going to keep this nice curve. I'm going to shape this rock to match it, and then I'm going to continue on. Before we start, I should mention that we have protective gear on. We've got headphones to protect our ears, gloves and knee pads, which are optional. But the eye protection is pretty much mandatory, just in case you get a little stone coming off of the saw. You don't want to lose your vision. You can wear really cool goggles like the one Craig has on. I prefer the the helicopter chopper goggles that I use.
And we use the water to cut down on the dust, eliminating the need for dust masks right now.
Show them where to aim the water at, Craig. If I'm cutting here, he's going to aim the water right at the front of my blade there. If he hits this little thing right here, it's going to shoot water up into my face. You can see that I scored it first. Now I'm going to go along and I'm going to cut a little bit deeper. This one I'm going to give its own curve to, and I'm going to match the stone below it to that curve. Da-na-na-na-na-na. What's that one?
Not a guitar.
No. Got it.